there is some push and pull. But how does Tyler react to this?
Position.
You're a bad coach, bro.
Bro,
A better
you are
coach
so
wins
hard
that
to
game.
work with. You're so hard to work with. I told you to get a fire alert.
So there was some coaching drama that happened between Tyler1 and Grubby. As you guys know, Grubby, Warcraft legend, has been coaching Tyler1 with the many mystical arts of Warcraft 3, including unit composition, how to micro, yada yada yada. Most importantly, control groups. Now, control groups are a simple little trick, control 1, control 2. You can assign groups of units to different little buttons on your keyboard. So it's a really quick way to navigate the game and use different units even when you're not looking at them. So Grubby naturally thinks this is a classic and integral part of learning the game, a fundamental. But Tyler1 doesn't seem to connect with the mechanic, and instead likes to just use the box to control the units manually, almost in a speed action RPG type way. You can tell he comes from League in that way. So what happens when this issue, I suppose, comes to clash after a loss of a very close game, apparently by an opponent Tyler has lost to before. So let's take a look, actually. See what this is like. We're trying to look at this from a coaching perspective, right? Because you don't want this to happen.
I've played that guy 3 times, and he's done that every time. Good check.
It's not in the match history yet. Okay, Windows 7.
Okay.
Uh,
It's all just filler.
6 and 24. Yeah, Kappa. That's a sandbag. Come on.
Come on. Okay, so first thing, the opponent is sandbagging. 6 and 24. That's like a record, as if you're searching for him. Maybe you try these really fast, quick builds, as long as it's not I'm Tyler, but he's definitely looking for someone. That's what he's saying. And this makes Tyler1 feel better about the loss. So does Grubby give him this?
But how come they're 3 minutes, 4 minutes? I don't know, man.
That's a 6 and 24 player.
You might be right.
It's up for
I'm not
debate.
retarded. I have 300 games.
You know what it feels like normally.
Yes, I normally know what it feels like. Unless he was like 1,500, if he was better, yes. But that guy kiting in and out like that, even that you had to say that he's sitting there playing that choke, you don't understand because you're so high-low, you're out of touch with this elo. People don't do that.
Okay.
That does not cross their mind like, oh, I'm going to play in this choke right here.
You know,
It's
the
not what
interesting
people
thing
do.
about this is they don't know it's going to be kind of a tense moment yet, right? So Grubby could just concede this point and say, yeah, okay, he's probably a griefer. Yeah, he's probably trying to target you. But
Okay. All right.
it's not really
Maybe it
what
was
happens.
a Smurf, and he should be banned.
Maybe he's
If he's sandbagging and smurfing.
if he's sandbagging.
Okay, not banned. How does he lose
Not
so many
banned.
games?
I mean,
you
see,
think he's
Grubby
actually throwing
can't get
games
off it.
to
He's
be
like,
ranked
nah,
to
he's not
meet?
real.
Absolutely.
Tyler.
It's not that bad. He's 29-44 in total, 26-37.
So what's
I don't know.
actually happening
I'm not
right
going to
now?
start an inquiry.
What Grubby is really trying to do is he's trying to say, hey, Tyler, don't get into the habit of blaming your losses on your opponent, right? What he's trying to say is, hey, Tyler, don't get into the habit of this, because this leads to, oh, they were hacking. This leads to, oh, they're so noob. And that's a bad cycle for any player. You need to respect your opponent. Now, to Tyler's point, you know, he's Tyler1 playing Warcraft 3. People are going to try to snipe him. So there is some push and pull. But how does Tyler react to this?
Position.
You're a bad coach, bro.
Bro,
A better
you are
coach
so
wins
hard
that
to
game.
work with. You're so hard to work with. I told you to get a fire alert like 4 times.
So think about it. That's really the moment in which this conflict begins. You're a bad coach, bro. And I think that really hits Grubby hard, because Grubby's been putting a lot of effort into this. But to Tyler's point, like, I think he's so irritated that Grubby is on behalf of Windows 7 kind of like fighting. Like, I think at this point, Tyler's like, can you just concede this, that this was someone trying to snipe me? And it got a little personal and said, man, you're a bad coach. But now Grubby says you're so hard to work with.
You said it once, and I was in combat. And I was like, oh shit, read attack. You're like, wait, it's too late. And I was like, oh, we need to go back. And you're like, no, get it first. But then you go to Burrow, and you're like, wait, never mind, you need to go back. Like, what am I doing?
So what he's saying is he's overwhelmed, right? So obviously you can't really literally think that Tyler has this photographic memory and can recall the names, but what he's really trying to say is, hey, this coaching style is not working for me. It's stressing me out.
Let's focus on the positives. What do you think about that?
There's no positives. It felt like shit.
There's low.
I love Grubby's decision there. Let's focus on the positives, but you also get some information from Tyler. There's no positives. Feels like shit. See the word feels?
Loads of positives.
I play that game standard. That guy's fucking 10 feet under.
It's not about winning. It's about getting better. Do you want to get better, or do you want to win one game?
It's true.
Because I'm
Especially
coaching.
because they're in a 10K tournament coming up.
I didn't learn anything.
Didn't learn anything? Okay, coach, come in.
What did I learn that game?
Here's what you learned. Here's what you did for the first time.
Great.
Sending wolves repeatedly to check
true.
for expansion.
True. That's one thing.
Top marks.
2.
This is what a coach
Sending
needs
wolves
to
into
do.
a worker line after a confirmed expansion.
Yeah.
3.
should always be the
Sending
one to
wolves to interrupt long-distance mining.
Point out things.
Not
you did
often
right.
enough, not as often as I liked, but so many things took so long with you that I couldn't say it as often as I would have liked. This should be like clockwork. Wolves to peasants, wolves to peasants, wolves to...
Okay, that I know in hindsight that this gets a little tense, but Grubby really is kind of 6 sticks for every 1 carrot here, right? Like, he is kind of hammering down how much there is to be done, how much work there is to be done on the Spirit Wolves.
Bro, I could not wait for you to play League, by the way.
And that creates the eye roll from Tyler. Really look at the subtext. I can't wait for you to play League. I'm feeling overwhelmed. When the roles are reversed, it's going to be good for me. Why? Because it's hard for me now. So, yeah.
I'm going to be in your ear calling you a dipshit the entire... No, the problem is I'm actually good at speaking. So, and I know what it's like to be new. So I'll inform you about all these things and I'll expect nothing. That's your problem, I think. I can't wait, bro.
Tyler does a sneaky thing here. He both uses the fact that he's new to this game and you shouldn't expect much, but he also flexes that he's like put a lot of work in. He plays a lot, that he's a gamer, and you should expect a lot. So it's a little bit of both there.
I can't wait.
Sneakiness.
I'm going to let you lash out a bit.
Nice, Grubby.
Yeah, piss me off.
I'll be the bigger man and not retort.
See, okay, little pet peeve. When you say you're being the bigger man, haven't you actually said something? You just said you're the bigger man, right? So you can't say you're not going to say something and then say something.
All right, I apologize.
I know
I'm
that.
back.
It's okay. It's a frustrating experience. I get it.
Nice.
But we learned some things about wolves and harassment. We are tiny great hauling for the first time.
True.
We are learning about fight positioning. And we are learning how freaking important it is to get our control groups in order. Annie Fuchsia has better control grouping than you.
Dope.
Sunglitters has
And
better
hey,
control
and guess what? I'll play against him, and what will happen? I'll put him fucking 10 feet under, won't I, bud? Who gives a shit about your stupid fucking control?
So there's the defensiveness, and we're going to see it from both sides here. Annie Fuchsia and Sunglitters have been playing pretty consistently, and their control group micro is, as a result, better. You know, they've been playing the campaign, and he played against a bunch of bots, and I think was now going against humans, which is great. But it's an odd decision as a coach to bring up 2 other players and then compare their skills in this way, because you almost put the other 2 players in the line of fire now. Because what is Tyler going to do other than say, well, I beat both of those players? He's a player you're coaching. So this was probably the biggest blunder by Grubby in terms of just coaching, if you're looking at it like mechanics of coaching. But I'd also say too, like, it's real. If Annie Fuchsia and Sunglitter's control grouping is better, then I think it's a very prescient point for Grubby to highlight that. I think he maybe should have stuck or introed it better, like maybe like take 2 players like Annie Fuchsia and Sunglitters who have less MMR than you. Would you believe that they have much stronger control grouping? You know, like when you phrase it that way, I don't think you'd get this defensive response, and you'd still make the point.
Groups. It's like me playing the cow opening in fucking chess. They're not needed if you get good. If you have fast mouse movement, you know what you're doing. You can fucking play without control groups up to a certain point. Fuck your control groups.
Okay, I agree. Then show me that you can do what needs to be done without control groups, which means when a hero comes up to suck you, you don't just stand there getting blocked by your own units. I want to see you starting fights without your panda AFK. Who does that?
It's a really good gamer-to-gamer moment, I think Grubby's doing right now. He's just sticking it back to the mechanics. He's bringing it back to the game. When things get too heated, always start talking back to game words. Let's start talking about pandas, and let's start talking about the game again. Let's remember why we're here. So I think that's good. And I also just love the idea of, yeah, fine, you don't want to use control groups? Okay. He sees that he's not going to be able to move him on that point. But you're not going to get away with the issue at hand, which is control groups help you move your units, and your units are blocking your hero. And that means your hero's out of the battle, and that means you're losing the game, and that means you're not winning 10K, right? So, good coaching there.
Which of your opponents...
Bro, would I do that if you wanted my ear?
Just
You know how, like, I told you before it'd be stun locky. I think it's stun locked when I get somebody in my ear. I literally said that.
You can ignore
Do you want me to go
this
through your
because
VOD?
it's
Let me
just
go through your
a
VOD.
plan.
I'll go watch all your VODs. You're a brand new player at this game. Do you want me to see you just standing still because you're brand new at the game? I'll go through your VODs.
Okay.
So, if you don't want to get offended by that, it's funny, it's immature. But what it really reveals is that, like, Tyler feels powerless in the situation. Like, Tyler is saying that, like, you're ignoring all of the things I want you to focus on, and instead you're saying that you have the power to go through and at any point prove me wrong. Which, if you think about it, like the power dynamic between coach and player, it's always that skewed. But Grubby is reminding Tyler that it's that skewed, and I don't think players like to be reminded of that. Players don't like to be reminded that, hey, by the way, I could literally prove to you with data that you're wrong.
Okay, Tyler. I think that's a little out of line.
It is.
I'm just saying, bro.
Maybe out of line, but predictable. All right, so Tyler's the
I
wounded
am
player
new at
right
the
now.
game.
I know.
I am putting in effort.
Concedes.
Am I not using control groups perfectly? Yes,
The
I
wounded
agree.
player
Am I
concedes.
drive units standing?
Very good.
Yes, I agree. I'm fucking trying.
What else can you
You
want
are
from
like
a player who's crashing
in the
out?
gym, only doing arms, never legs.
I squat 600 pounds!
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
That's why
Then
he
fix
made the
your
comparison.
control grouping, because the reason you beat people that have better control grouping than you is because you excel in other skills.
Facts.
You are advancing in a very imbalanced way, and it's the biggest thing holding you back.
I love
Either you
hearing that.
trust me-
Oh my god, yes!
Either you
Dude,
trust
it's
me
just
or
like
you don't.
fucking chess! This game is just like
Imbalanced
chess!
way.
Stop playing the cow opening!
So advancing in an imbalanced way is what coaches are here for. Coaches are literally designed to look at someone over a long time, see the trends they don't see, identify the way they succeed, and reframe that success in realistic terms that help them achieve goals. So it's not always about, hey, look, you won. Grubby's trying to explain, you're winning in ways that make you bad. Like, eventually, you're going to come up across Phantom Realm, a Tyler1, Shadow Clone version of you. Someone with your same drive, your same everything. But you know what? They love control groups. And that player is going to just smoke you. They're going to run circles around you because they have control groups and you don't. Grubby knows this. But to explain this in coachable terms,
It's gonna hold you
always a
back!
challenge.
Stop! No, you didn't play the London! You didn't
Not
do
an
the Caro
opening.
Con! No, you're never gonna
it's not
climb
an
with cow opening! I love it, yes!
It's not like chess at all.
It is
There's no
exactly
agility
like
in
it.
chess. There's no agility in chess. The
How
build order-
high rating could you get with no control groups?
It's funny when he says it's not like chess at all, because it's true. It's not like chess, but Tyler1 is also correct. This is like the chess situation, because you know what was the common factor in both the chess and this? Tyler1. So in Tyler1's perspective, this is exactly like the chess scenario in which he was tried to be told something, tried to be coached. They didn't realize that to take that coaching advice would get him so off the groove that the rapid improvement he needs in order to keep focused and energetic on the task at hand would be gone. So say that again. If Tyler gets bored, or if Tyler feels like there's boxes around them and all of a sudden playing and winning isn't an expression of Tyler doing what he wants, I think that's the fine line between it's not worth it. So I think that's why he rebels so hard when people tell him what to do. Let's see what
You
else.
personally.
But I wouldn't block my hero.
Okay, so then what I need to do is not block my fucking hero.
Okay?
Okay.
But everything takes so long that you do because of the rectangles.
Okay.
All right. So
You
let's
don't
see
have
how
to
this
do it.
goes.
I can't force you. I believe in consent. I think it's a good focal area.
Grubby's good coaching here.
All right.
I believe this is where you should end it. As a coach, end it. Hey, let's play some game. Just get back in the game.
You want to end it like that?
What? I don't know. What? Do you have any more? I'm open for more suggestions.
You don't sound open.
I haven't left the call.
So at this point, Grubby is doing all of this for free. Grubby is giving all of his time. and Grubby's really putting in a lot of effort here. So Tyler1 is probably unaware of how taxing his personality can be, and maybe how much energy it takes to be on the receiving end of Tyler1 so personally. So at this point, Grubby as a coach is hitting the wall.
I said the Wolves were. That is a good coaching point. Thank you. That is awesome.
Tyler.
Move back! Why aren't you moving back?
And
Move back!
Throw him a bone.
Motherfucker! If I knew how to move back correctly and fluently, I'd be doing it.
Yes, but that's why you need control groups.
I was pressing 2 and 1!
No, you've got too many stray units.
Because I didn't re-add them! You said make 2 control groups! Half the army in one, half the army in the other! You never told me to make a 3rd control group until the bats!
So I know Tyler1's volume is funny, and we laugh, and it is funny. But it's also a communication method, right? You raise your volume when you're feeling like you're not heard. So Tyler got so loud the moment Grubby mentioned control groups again. And I feel as if Tyler feels as if he's literally explained all he needs to about control groups. He feels if you listened, then you would not bring them up again. But the fact that Grubby does, immediate reaction.
I didn't know if you could handle it.
Okay, so it's not my fault that they're not the 2 control groups! So then I have 3, 4 units down the control group, and I'm only using 2. Of course they're gonna fucking walk up, because they're not a control group!
Okay, let's try something.
100% crashing out.
I'm gonna make a custom map.
Good, Grubby.
And I want to see how
get back
you
in game.
Control your
this is
heroes.
what I was saying you should have done.
But I'm gonna need 2
minutes ago.
I'll talk to you in 2 minutes.
Good, get back in game. I mean, what do you guys think of this so far, right? I mean, that was definitely something. I think in terms of like the argument, it's still very salvageable. This is still a salvageable situation here, right? As a coach, that was a great decision. Calm. Great decision to give 2 minutes of rest. Believe it or not, I actually do now that I think about it. Tyler1 is calm, but I think he's so used to having this debate.
I can't fucking stand people telling me what to fucking do because it doesn't mean fucking matter.
Yeah.
Brother, I hear the same shit and everything. No, you have to do that. No, I don't have to do fucking shit.
Grubby realizes.
In any of these dog shit. No, you have to use. No, you don't, bro. You don't. You don't have to. Will it be easier? Yes, it'll be easier. Do you have to? No. So just drop the word have. You do not.
I think it's a really interesting insight into Tyler1's personality. Anyone interested in coaching him would probably need to focus on that part. Because clearly, Tyler is someone that's not motivated by it being easier. But he is motivated by it being simpler, right? Using no control groups is simple. Great. Simple. You're a straightforward type of person, right? You like it linear. Give me the mountain, I'll climb it. Give me the enemy, I'll face it. But making it easier to try to motivate them to use control groups by saying, oh, it'll be easier. I don't need it to be easier. I need it to be simple. So I think going back on the control group discussion, because eventually you need to learn control groups, Tyler, a coach would do well to try to convince it in terms of simplicity. I would have very simple control groups. I would say, wouldn't it be simple to have one hero on the first control group, a second hero on the second control group, and then your first unit type you build on the third control group? Like, what if you just try to make it simple? What if you tried to... He could end up using more control groups than you ever thought possible, but because you've simplified the game through the control group. So that's an interesting read, I think. Then again, he could just be very defiant.
Fucking pisses me off.
Have some authority issues. He gets energy from being defiant. You know, a lot of players who are hard to coach, they like being technically correct.
Okay, but why not do the easier thing?
Because
I don't fucking want to. It's not comfortable. I want to do what the fuck I want to do. Yeah. Again, let's go to chess. Cow opening. You fucking idiots. I've played more games than anybody. I am competitive in more games than anybody in this chat. Shut the fuck up. And guess what? I do it my way. Tyler1, stop playing Ivern. You're never going to climb.
If we look past the bravado and the yelling, isn't it really just like a plead for people to understand his way? Right? Like, this is a cry to say, please, this works for me. You know, this is how I do it. This is the way it's simple for me. This is the way that it works. And for some reason, I get results this way, just like in chess, just like in so-and-so. He's actually kind of like reaching out for someone to get him, I believe.
You gotta play Graves and Lee Sin and all these carry junglers. The fuck I do? The fuck I do? You don't have to play anything.
Now, Grubby...
That is the problem. It is you people seeing everybody else do something, and you can't fucking...
this whole time?
1 second, please. I'm yapping. And you can't comprehend anybody just not doing it. It makes you physically wince that, oh my God, he's not using control groups. But I would, and I'm only 1,500 rating. I've played this game for 3 years. God.
You know, I actually want to speak on this a bit because I relate with Tyler1 a lot. The idea of having someone put boxes around you and rules, even in a video game, is frustrating. But I also need to, vouch for the people that are so irritated by the lack of control groups. It's because they see the vision, they see the future. They see like a grain of sand on a plate of glass. This is a little tiny mistake that will eventually cause a big streak. This will eventually make you a worse player. And that knowledge is hard to ignore once you know it and feel it. So I think a lot of people are motivated by the right process and the right way. They can see the combination of the small steps that lead to big leaps, but Tyler1 seems to be more of a force of nature, more vibes-based personality.
God, why is he not playing fucking... You don't have to, you fucking freaks. Is that hard to understand?
No, I don't think it's hard to understand.
Absolutely not.
But it's hard to agree with. It's hard to support because supporting it leads to subpar play. It's easy to understand. Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Hello?
Tyler is both wrong and right. In order to coach people, you need to.
I need to blow up some steam too.
Yeah, I was blowing off steam. I mean, it is unfortunate that nobody is competitive at any other games but me, apparently. So I actually know what I'm speaking about learning other games, don't I, Grubby? Because my resume in gaming is actually just so fucking long, and I'm talented at more than one video game, statistically, aren't I? So I think I know how to get good at different games and the steps it takes.
Do you want it?
So this is what I think where, as a coach, obviously the sessions got a little personal around, right? And Tyler's definitely heated. But this heated, it's also just like frustration. Like it's Tyler saying that, how come it doesn't seem to matter that I get good at these games and I rise to the top? People still doubt me. People still doubt my methods. I think Tyler would really love to hear from someone saying, you know what, Tyler, the fact that it works for you is really unique. Let's see. Right? You just need to kind of let him have the bone here. Give him the carrot. Because a coach should only be concerned with the end goal. But here's the thing. Grubby's doing this all for free, but it's not really for free because of the 10K tournament. Like, it is kind of both of their business now,
Do you want a compliment?
No, I'm talking to you, but I'm really talking to the audience.
That was a alpha. Do you want a compliment? Wow.
So I'm sharing my screen still.
I know what it's like to be new at a game. I was pro at Warcraft 3, actually winning tournaments. I was pro at StarCraft 2. I was immortal in Dota 2, and I was top 20 on the ladder in Age of Empires 4. I know what it's like to go into a new genre and learn. An open, receptive mind, especially in the presence of a coach, is valuable.
Correct.
I'm not saying it to troll you, the control groups. It's really, really very bad, even compared to your other MMR contemporaries. And it is frustrating to me, as someone that wants to see you increase in MMR, and seeing that your skill level in other areas is good enough, that you are so gosh darn stubborn and so omega tilted that you cannot take this feedback from me, thinking that I'm somehow against you.
People freaks!
So, quick experiment. Why do you think Tyler feels misunderstood there? What was the word that Grubby said that really just made Tyler lose it there? I think it's when Grubby almost explained everything with complete accuracy, and then when he got to Tyler1's emotional state, said, tilted and stubborn. If you read Tyler1 right now as tilted and stubborn and not frustrated and passionate.
If I wasn't taking the feedback, I would have not tried using them at all. I wouldn't be using them trying to use them in my solo queue games. I am trying to fucking use them. It is not connecting.
Important.
It is not like I'm completely ignoring you
phrase. It's
and
not
not
connecting.
trying. I am trying. It is not fucking connecting. Do you understand that?
Then let's try to connect it better instead of rejecting it altogether, because there are some control schemes that can help. Like, I don't think you're using all the potential tools in the game to do it effectively.
So that's interesting. I think in that moment, Grubby believed he was really sending an olive branch. I think he thought, this is what's going to get Tyler back on my side, kind of gamer to gamer. You're not using all the spells. You're not using all the moves. You're not using all the things. But I think they've tried that argument on Tyler a million times. You're not using all the openings. You're not using this. I think Tyler knows that some things aren't worth his energy because it won't benefit him quick enough. I think if you're trying to coach Tyler, you need to first address why you want it to be simpler. What is the inherent strength you are wanting to lean on? And I think Grubby's getting to that. It's these other skills. It's the speed. It's kind of just the ability to click fast. But that's not going to take you to beating even some of the players in the 10K event.
If you are absolutely against it, then I'm not going to try anymore.
Well, it's one of those things now where now I will prove to these fucking freaks that it is possible to climb in this game without control groups, which it 100% is.
If it has become an ego issue and you're not going to do it anymore because of it,
but I have been trying to use them every single day, every single game, just so we're all clear.
Okay, Tyler, do you know how much energy it costs me? Like, I am invested in your journey as well. It costs me a lot of energy to try and think of hours a day how to best help you, and to then have you shout at me how bad of a coach I am is actually annoying, not just
Okay, I'm sorry I called you a terrible coach, Grubby. Okay, I apologize for that.
I think the way
I accept.
Tyler
Can you join on Battle.net? Game name Tyler1
Okay, good. Back in the game. Good coaching move.
I gotta load up Warcraft. Give me a second.
But it feels as if there's a little uneven because Grubby just said all that about time.
I think you'd be a better coach, though. I will say that.
We're back to square one.
I think us watching a 45-minute replay of where you teach me a counter strategy and then lose is not valuable for my time.
They both mentioned time now.
Sorry, I lost, bro.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, if we want to play that card, I am also committing my time here, and I didn't get much out of that.
Well, if your time is more valuable,
it is the same. We're both. I mean, I'm not.
Surely, I apologize. I didn't know your time was so much more valuable.
I didn't say it was much more valuable. I'm just saying that I'm not getting as much out of this as could be.
How many hours a day have you thought about how to make my coaching better?
Probably a lot. Probably like 5 hours a day.
Okay.
Grubby
how
can
much
do this
of that
better.
has productively reached me?
Apparently none.
What good is it to me if you don't give me coaching instructions?
True. I'll help. I'll give you coaching pointers.
I can coach differently if you say how. I get one-liner from you every 6 days. Meanwhile, I spend hours thinking.
It's interesting because in a way, hasn't Tyler been telling Grubby how he'd like to be coached? But he hasn't been typing it. Maybe just now in this way, yelling after a defeat. You know, we all have different communication styles. Grubby may feel at peace writing long DMs, getting it off his chest, but some players, like Tyler, you really get to hear from them when you're in an angry Discord call. So, man.
Thinking how I can get through to you or how I can coach on your level.
Okay, we're acting like I'm hard stuck. Okay, I'm not. I am improving every single day. We're not.
No, I'm not acting like you're hard stuck. I'm just saying truth. I'm saying the fact. I am spending many hours per week.
I don't know what to join, by the way.
Or per day. Game name Tyler1 Don't start talking about time commit when I've spent more on you than you on me. In terms of making you better or you making me coach better. Thank you.
True, bro. You've made me a better player. It's all you.
Have I?
Yeah, you're all killing it. You're killing it.
That is so passive aggressive.
So well because of you.
All right, guys. What do you think about that? Honestly, when it comes to esports coaching, I think it's a really unique situation because there's always a power imbalance. But at the same time, it's not always about who knows more about the game. Sometimes it's about who can communicate better, who can help players who have a tendency to focus on one thing or to tunnel vision on one thing to actually open their mind and let them see maybe it from a different perspective. If I had to give my wrap up on this, I think Grubby did a really good job of keeping it essentially polite and keeping professional. But I think if you were an absolute saint, Grubby, there really is no need to be defensive. You know, you are the coach in this situation. I know it's Tyler1 yelling at you, so definitely a little bit of expert difficulty there on coaching. And as for Tyler, you know, I think you have some humility at times. You say you're not good. You say you're new. You say, why do you expect so much from me? You say the hotkeys don't connect. But man, it really is all masked by a big bravado. And I think ultimately, you know, he's a very coachable person. I think Tyler1 has a sort of stick-to-itiveness that makes him want to strive to get good at things. But I also believe that there's a rigidness to his need for simplicity. I do think Tyler1 needs it to be simple, or else he gets impatient. And I think he's reached the impatient phase with control groups. I think they're not paying off as fast as he'd want, and that's typical Warcraft 3 RTS fundamentals. It takes a while to really see the benefit from training. So hey, I hope, Grubby, hope you continue the coaching arc. And hey, I guess the 10K tournament's happening this month, so if you guys are interested in that, definitely check it out. But March 14th to the 15th, you're gonna have Tyler playing. So if you like this video, if you like Warcraft 3, if you like this level of, you know, articulation and just commentary about competitive gaming, then give us a follow, give us a like. We enjoy it. All right, see you later.